What is up, guys? I'm back with another video. Welcome back to the channel if you're returning. I hope you enjoyed the last video, and now we're going to be talking about something somewhat related. Today I wanted to talk about my journey through Final Fantasy XIV. So far, what I've been able to do, how I got into the game, and my experience going forward. So without any further ado, I'll get started on the story, I suppose. So I first joined the game in December of last year, so 2023. After many recommendations from friends, hearing about the amazing free trial period, and just the great experience that the game was. So I caved, thanks to a dear friend that really pushed to get me into the game. So I initially tried on PlayStation, and I was like, it was nice. I was enjoying the game, but I wasn't able to get fully immersed yet. And then I started playing on PC. With a character named Chocobo Chocobo. Boom, my identity was set. Chocobo's little guy, little Lalafell gladiator. Tanking as a Lalafell, the smallest character you could be. That was my identity, it was perfect. Now initially I joined because I'd heard of the fishing jobs. If you guys couldn't tell by the motifs on the channel, I'm somewhat into fishing in video games. So yeah, Chocobo was my first character. I joined somewhat as a joke, having kind of a jokey character. You know, fishing, collecting different minions. Tanking, of course, that's obviously one of the funniest parts of the character, I think, is the juxtaposition between the size of the Lalafell and obviously the tank status, that you have to be the big, beefy guy to, you know, soak up all the damage and all the aggro, importantly. So it started playing as him. You guys can see him up on the screen. And then I started progressing through the story. I started playing more and more. You start getting more attached to the characters. You start understanding the story more, the gravity of all the events happening. And I started to get invested. You know, as December went along into the new year, I started getting really invested into the story, into these characters. And it went great. A Realm Reborn is amazing. It's a little slow. It's a little janky sometimes. But I really enjoyed it. Obviously I'd played through A Realm Reborn. I spent about 100 hours on it. Through the free trial version. So, you know, I got up to level 50. There's that 300,000 gil money cap. But yeah, that was my Realm Reborn experience that I played through with Chocobo. Now, as soon as I got to Heavensward, the second expansion, or the first expansion. Anyway, as soon as I got into Heavensward, I started realizing, after the events that transpire in Realm Reborn, I'm not going to spoil for anyone who hasn't played yet, but after the end of Realm Reborn, I started realizing how good the story was getting, the impact that it started having on me, and how much I started to really enjoy the writing that, you know, was put into this game. And that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going paid. So I bought the complete edition, so you get from A Realm Reborn up to what's it called, Endwalker, I believe. Yeah, the latest expansion minus Dandro. So I started playing paid, real account, no gil limit. Friend was able to give me money, I get Chocobo pajamas, all this kind of stuff. And then I was starting to play, you know, more seriously, getting into it. And Heavensward, you know, is considered by many to be the peak of the writing and of the story. Or at least it used to be. Now some people consider Shadowbringers to be the peak. Anyway, that's when I start realizing, okay, this is really, really good. So I start getting invested in it. You start really getting into the roleplay side of it more. But I'm doing all that through this serious, you know, tone expansion. Playing through, starting to really learn the game, starting to really learn how to tank, you know, learning my role, learning the skills, learning how I need to play, the mindset I have to have. So you started playing this, but I still have this jokey character in Chocobo. And that's when I started to realize, okay, if I'm really going to get into the lore, the role-playing, you know, I wasn't quite sure if I'd wanted to continue as Chocobo as a main character. So I finish up Heavensward with this kind of in mind. I get to the end of Heavensward, which is just amazing. My favorite expansion so far. No, I haven't played that much. I've beaten Heavensward, and I'm at the very beginning of Stormblood. Haven't gotten very far yet, because at the beginning of Stormblood, when I got my new PC, that's when I decided I wanted to transition into a more serious character in order to really bounce off of the lore and play into that. And that is where you guys can see Oscar. He's present in the intro and outro. He's in my little logo here, thanks to a friend who has helped me out create this logo. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so I transitioned to a new main character, that being Oscar Judmaruk. He's a Viera, you know. Now, initially, I didn't want to have to grind all the way up to level 60 to in order to progress the story. So what I did was I bought the story skip as a Dragoon, because I was like, hey, Dragoon Lancers, that'd be really cool. But the problem was, I had no experience with DPS. So here I am now, with all this level 80 DPS gear, you know, Dragoon being one of the more complicated DPS to learn. So I try just the first story combat quest. There's the first, like, duty you have to do in the story, in Stormblood. And I just hit the wall. I had no idea what I was doing. I got obliterated. And that's when I realized, okay, I don't think DPS is for me. At least yet. I've really grown into learning tank. I like tanking. I enjoyed playing Paladin. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try Dark Knight. For those of you who know me, I'm a big Berserk fan. So I like, big claymores and, you know. Now the edginess, you know, that's not really my thing. But I like the weapon style and the combat style. And of course, tanking, I think that's my thing. I love tanking. So, Oscar, new character. I start, you know, right now I'm still in the process of leveling him up all the way to level 60. But I was a Dark Knight, different character, more serious character. Character I'm able to take more seriously within the story as well. And I've been having a lot of fun with him. I'm near 200 hours in the game as a whole. So about probably 160 or 150 with Jokubo and about 40 or 50 with Oscar. You know, having made that transition to a more serious character. And now, you know, yeah, I'm gearing up to really get into Stormblood and start pushing forward with the story. That's about it. I mean, those are the two characters I have. Those are the two characters I've really played as. The two characters I have the most experience with, and out of the majority of any RPGs I've played, really. And they're two characters I'm invested in, two characters I care for. Now, I'm not going to get rid of Jokubo, of course. He's still there. He's still a fun character to have. So I'm keeping him, you know, safely in his server on Adamantoise. But Oscar is now my main on Cactuar, of all places. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Like I said, I loved Heavensward. I loved A Realm Reborn. I love all the characters we've met so far. All the characters we've said hello and said goodbye to. They've really, really impacted me. And yeah, so now I'm really into the game. I don't know if I'll be making a whole lot of 14 content on this YouTube channel necessarily. I might. I haven't quite thought it out just yet. I do sometimes stream for friends. I might have some 14 activity on Twitch. But I haven't thought about it in depth yet. If you guys would like to see any 14 content, please let me know. If you guys want to play with me on Cactuar, you know, that'd be great. You guys just let me know, of course. And yeah, that's, I think, about all I have to say about my journey in 14 so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the gameplay, some of the, you know, the images I have of Jokubo and Oscar for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the new intro and outro, the new identity I've set up for the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.